Have you ever looked at the world around you, at the towering figures of success, the titans of industry, the political powerhouses, and felt a creeping sense of unease? A nagging question that whispers in the quiet corners of your mind. Why them? Why do the individuals who seem to embody the very antithesis of what we're taught is good often rise to the pinnacle of power? Why do those who bend the rules, exploit weaknesses, or even outright betray trust frequently find themselves not just surviving, but thriving? It's an unsettling observation, isn't it? We are raised on tales of virtue rewarded, of diligence and honesty paving the way to prosperity. Yet, reality often paints a starkly different picture. The nice guy finishes last. The ethical business struggles while the ruthless competitor dominates. The honest politician is sidelined by the charismatic manipulator. What if everything you've been told about success, about merit, about justice, is merely a comforting illusion? What if there are unseen forces at play, unspoken agreements, a dark, hidden rulebook that dictates who truly succeeds in this world? This isn't about conspiracy theories. It's about a profound, uncomfortable truth regarding human nature and the very fabric of power. And no one understood this truth more brutally, more unflinchingly, than the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Tonight, we delve into the shadows to uncover the hidden rules that govern success and confront the chilling reality of Nietzsche's warning. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew. We are indoctrinated from birth with a specific narrative: work hard, be honest, be kind, follow the rules, and you will achieve your dreams. This is the bedrock of our societal morality, a comforting fable designed to maintain order and inspire aspiration. It suggests a linear path where effort equals reward and virtue guarantees victory. But let's be honest with ourselves. How often does this narrative truly align with the world we inhabit? Consider the corporate ladder. We're told to be team players, to collaborate, to share credit. Yet, how many times have you witnessed the individual who strategically takes credit for others' work, who subtly undermines rivals, or who masters the art of self-promotion, ascend faster than their genuinely talented, but less assertive colleagues? Example 1. Think of the diligent, highly skilled employee. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah consistently delivers exceptional work, helps her teammates, and avoids office politics. She believes her merit will speak for itself. Meanwhile, Mark, less skilled but a master of networking and self-promotion, spends more time in the executive lounge than at his desk. He's always quick to volunteer for high-visibility projects, even if he delegates most of the actual work. And he's adept at framing his contributions in the best possible light. Who gets the promotion? All too often, it's Mark, not because he's better, but because he understands a different set of rules, the hidden rules of visibility, influence, and strategic self-interest. The conventional narrative fosters a sense of fairness, a belief that the universe will eventually balance the scales. But what if the scales are inherently tipped? What if the very qualities we deem good, humility, compassion, self-sacrifice, are, in certain contexts, actually liabilities in the brutal arena of ambition and power? This isn't to say these qualities are inherently bad, but rather that their application in the pursuit of conventional success might be a strategic misstep. The truth is, while the conventional narrative serves a vital social function, it often obscures the raw, unvarnished mechanics of how power is acquired and maintained. It's a beautiful lie that keeps the majority striving within defined boundaries, while a select few operate by a different, more effective, and often unsettling code. This brings us to the profound and often misunderstood insights of Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche didn't believe in universal moral truths handed down from a divine source. He saw morality as a human construct, a tool, often wielded by the weak to control the strong, or by the powerful to maintain their dominance. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy, particularly relevant to our discussion, is the concept of the will to power. This isn't simply about brute force or domination in the crudest sense. It's a fundamental drive, an inherent impulse in all living things. To grow, to overcome, to expand, to assert, to become more. It's the drive for mastery, for self-overcoming. for the realization of one's full potential, even if that potential involves challenging established norms or trampling over conventional ethics. For Nietzsche, life itself is the will to power. Success, then, is not merely the accumulation of wealth or status, but the successful expression of this will, the ability to impose one's values, one's vision, one's very being upon the world. And this often requires a profound disregard for the herd morality that seeks to level everyone down. Example 2. Consider the visionary entrepreneur, the disruptor who revolutionizes an industry. They often face immense resistance, criticism, and even moral condemnation for challenging the status quo. They might be accused of being ruthless, of exploiting workers, or of destroying traditional ways of life. Yet, their relentless drive, their unwavering belief in their own vision, their willingness to break rules and alienate people, is a powerful manifestation of the will to power. They are not seeking to be good by conventional standards. They are seeking to create, to dominate, to transform. Their success isn't a reward for their virtue, but a consequence of their unyielding will. Nietzsche would argue that the good person, as defined by societal norms, is often someone who has suppressed their own will to power in favor of conformity and comfort. They fear offending, they fear failure, they fear standing out. And in doing so, they relinquish their potential for true greatness, for truly shaping their own destiny. The hidden rule, then, is that to truly succeed, you must first acknowledge and then unleash this primal, often amoral, drive within you. It's not about being evil. It's about being effective, even if that effectiveness challenges the comfortable illusions of conventional morality. In a world that praises humility and self-sacrifice, the very act of asserting oneself, of prioritizing one's own ambition, can feel like a transgression. We are taught that good people are selfless, that they put others first, that they avoid conflict. But what if this very framework, this mask of morality, becomes a significant handicap in the pursuit of success? Nietzsche would contend that much of what we call morality, particularly slave morality, is a system designed by the weak to constrain the strong. It champions qualities like pity, humility, and patience, not because they are inherently superior, but because they serve to level the playing field, to prevent the truly powerful from fully expressing their dominance. Example 3. Imagine a highly talented artist, brimming with unique vision. They are told to be humble, to seek validation, to fit into established art scenes. They might spend years trying to please critics, to conform to trends, to be nice to gallery owners. This constant seeking of external approval, this adherence to a predefined good artistic path, often stifles their true creative genius. Their art becomes diluted, their voice muted. The hidden rule here is that true artistic success, the kind that breaks boundaries and defines eras, often comes from a place of radical self-assertion, a willingness to offend, to be misunderstood, to prioritize one's own vision above all else, even if it's deemed arrogant or unconventional. The good person, trapped by the mask of morality, often struggles with indecisiveness, fearing the wrong choice. They make no choice. Conflict avoidance, prioritizing harmony over necessary confrontation. They allow problems to fester. People-pleasing, sacrificing their own needs and goals to gain approval. They become easily manipulated. Lack of self-promotion, believing their work should speak for itself. They remain invisible. These are not inherently negative traits, but in the competitive landscape of ambition, they can be fatal. The hidden rule suggests that those who succeed understand that sometimes, to achieve greatness, you must shed the mask, embrace a degree of necessary ruthlessness, and prioritize your own will above the comfort of others' opinions. It requires a certain courage to be disliked, to be misunderstood, to be perceived as not good by conventional standards, if that is what it takes to realize your vision. If the will to power is the engine, then understanding human nature, including its inherent weaknesses and vulnerabilities, is the fuel. Those who truly succeed, those who operate by the hidden rules, often possess an uncanny ability to read people, to identify their desires, their fears, their insecurities, and to leverage these insights. This isn't necessarily malicious. It's simply effective. Manipulation, in this context, isn't always about deception. It's about influence, persuasion, and the strategic deployment of information. It's about understanding the levers that move people, whether those levers are ego, fear of loss, desire for belonging, or the yearning for recognition. Example 4. Consider the master negotiator. They don't just present facts. They understand the other party's underlying motivations. They might subtly appeal to their ego, or create a sense of urgency, or even feign disinterest to make the other side more eager. They understand that people are not purely rational beings, but are driven by emotions, biases, and a complex web of psychological triggers. The hidden rule here is that success often hinges on your ability to navigate this human landscape, to anticipate reactions, and to guide outcomes, sometimes without the other party even realizing they are being led. This requires a detachment, an observational prowess that can feel cold or calculating to those who operate purely on emotion or conventional empathy. This understanding extends beyond individual interactions to larger societal dynamics. Think about how political campaigns are run. They don't just present policies. They tap into collective fears, hopes, and resentments. They craft narratives that resonate deeply with specific demographics, often playing on emotional triggers rather than purely logical arguments. This is a form of mass manipulation, and it is undeniably effective in achieving power. The hidden rule is that success is often less about being right and more about being effective in influencing others. It's about understanding that people are predictable in their irrationality, and that this predictability can be harnessed. This isn't about being a sociopath, but about acknowledging the darker, more primal aspects of human psychology and using that knowledge strategically. It requires a willingness to see people not just as individuals with inherent worth, but as complex systems with predictable inputs and outputs. To truly operate by the hidden rules, one must cultivate a certain courage, the courage to be amoral. This doesn't mean being immoral or evil. It means transcending conventional morality, seeing it not as an absolute truth, but as one perspective among many, a tool that can either serve or hinder your will to power. The truly successful, in Nietzsche's view, are often those who are beyond good and evil. They don't operate out of malice, but out of a profound self-interest and a clear-eyed assessment of what is necessary to achieve their goals. They are not constrained by the guilt or self-doubt that plagues those who cling rigidly to conventional moral codes. Example 5. Imagine a CEO faced with a difficult decision: lay off a significant portion of the workforce to save the company from bankruptcy, or maintain jobs and risk the entire enterprise collapsing. The moral choice, from a conventional perspective, might be to avoid layoffs at all costs, even if it means slow, painful decline. But the CEO operating by the hidden rules understands that sometimes a painful, amoral decision is the only way to ensure the long-term survival and prosperity of the organization, ultimately saving more jobs in the future. They have the courage to make the unpopular, difficult choice, knowing it will be condemned by some, but understanding its necessity for the greater objective. This is not about being heartless, but about prioritizing the survival and growth of the entity they lead, even if it means sacrificing immediate comfort or popularity. This courage extends to personal boundaries and self-preservation. Many people struggle to say no, to set boundaries, or to cut ties with toxic relationships, out of a misguided sense of obligation or a fear of being perceived as mean. But those who succeed understand that protecting their energy, their time, and their mental well-being is paramount. They have the courage to prioritize their own growth, even if it means disappointing others or being seen as selfish. The hidden rule is that true freedom, and often true success, comes from liberating yourself from the tyranny of external validation and the shackles of conventional morality. It's about defining your own values, your own path, and having the strength to walk it, regardless of societal judgment. It's a lonely path, perhaps, but one that offers unparalleled opportunities for self-realization and impact. embracing these hidden rules, operating with a Nietzschean understanding of power and morality, undeniably offers a path to conventional success. But it comes at a price. The individual who operates beyond good and evil, who prioritizes their will to power above all else, often finds themselves isolated. Genuine connection, built on mutual vulnerability and shared values, can become elusive. Trust is a luxury they can rarely afford, and paranoia can become a constant companion. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the fewer true allies you find. Example 6. The ruthless political leader who achieves immense power might find themselves surrounded by sycophants and opportunists, never truly knowing who is loyal and who is simply waiting for their moment to strike. Their personal life might be a wasteland of broken relationships and emotional detachment. The very qualities that propelled them to the top, their cunning, their strategic thinking, their emotional detachment, can make genuine intimacy impossible. They gain the world, but lose the warmth of human connection. This isn't a judgment, but an observation of the inherent trade-offs. The hidden rules offer a clear path to external achievement, but they demand an internal sacrifice. The constant vigilance, the need to anticipate and counter threats, the emotional armor required to make difficult, unpopular decisions, these take a toll. So, while the hidden rules might explain why certain individuals succeed, they don't necessarily promise happiness or fulfillment in the conventional sense. They offer power, influence, and the ability to shape the world according to one's will. But the human cost can be profound. We've journeyed into the uncomfortable truths of power and success, illuminated by Nietzsche's stark philosophy. We've seen that the world doesn't always reward the good in the way we're taught, and that a deeper, often amoral, understanding of human nature and the will to power often dictates who truly rises. This isn't about advocating for a specific way of life, but about offering a different lens through which to view the world. It's about recognizing the hidden currents beneath the surface of polite society, the unspoken rules that govern who truly succeeds. If this exploration into the shadows of existence resonates with you, if it sparks a deeper curiosity about the mechanisms of power and the human psyche, consider joining our community. Subscribe to this channel to continue uncovering these profound, often unsettling, insights. What are your thoughts on these hidden rules? Have you observed them in your own life or in the lives of those around you? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Your insights contribute to this ongoing dialogue. And if this video has challenged your perceptions, if it has offered you a new way to understand the world, please give it a like. It helps us reach more minds seeking these deeper truths. The choice, ultimately, is yours. Will you continue to operate solely by the conventional narrative, hoping that virtue alone will lead to your desired outcomes? Or will you acknowledge the hidden rules, the brutal truths of power and human nature, and decide how you wish to navigate them? Understanding these rules doesn't mean you have to abandon your ethics or become someone you're not. It simply means you become aware. You become less naive. You gain the power of foresight, the ability to anticipate, and the strategic advantage of seeing the game for what it truly is. Nietzsche's warning isn't about becoming evil, it's about becoming conscious. Conscious of the forces that shape our world, conscious of the true drivers of success, and conscious of the profound choices we each face in defining our own path. The hidden rules are always at play, whether you choose to see them or not. The question is, now that you've glimpsed them, how will you choose to play the game?